The New York Jets just restructured CJ Mosley's contract. What does that mean for the salary cap? And will the Jets use any of that money to bring in another player? Let's talk about it. Well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I am Watu-K99, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like what you're watching, please hit the like button, share it with a friend, please subscribe. It definitely helps the channel, and I definitely appreciate all of your support. So, the news just broke a few minutes ago that the Jets have restructured the contract of linebacker CJ Mosley. Now, the Jets were very much up against the salary cap, which is by itself is kind of hard to believe, considering it feels like the Jets have, been hoarding salary cap money for the last 5 years. It seems like actually going back to John Idzik, it kind of feels that way. So what exactly happened here? Well, I'm going to try to explain it for you the best I can. So what the Jets did is they converted $14.88 million of CJ Mosley's base salary into a signing bonus. What this does is create $11.9 million in salary cap space. Now, in addition to converting the money from base salary to a signing bonus, they added 2 void years. Now, CJ Mosley's contract was set to expire after the 2024 season. These 2 void years will run the contract into 25 and 26. Now, this doesn't mean that Mosley is going to be here in 2026. Here's basically what's going on. They had an out, the Jets did, after this coming season, where they could get out of the contract if they wanted to, and they could save $15.5 million and take a $3 million dead cap hit. With this restructuring, that is now not going to happen. It's all but certain that Mosley will be with the Jets in 2023. They don't have this easy opt-out anymore. The advantage of the void years. So why are we doing? What is the point of the void years? So what it's doing is with a signing bonus, it gets prorated throughout the contract. A signing bonus doesn't actually get paid all up front, as I understand it. So this $14.88 million that's now a signing bonus is now spread out over the 5 years of the contract through 2026 instead of just the remaining 3 years, which was the case before. So this $14.88 million would have been over the next 3 years. Now it's going to be over the next 5 years. So that's about $2 million less, basically $15 million over 3 years versus $15 million over 5 years. So basically it's allowing a little bit of savings as far as that goes. So that's really the point of the void years. So this begs the question, what will the Jets do with this newly found salary cap space? Will they hold on to the money in case there are injuries? Because you always want to be a little bit under the cap in case injuries, and Jets fans, we know that happens quite frequently. So you could save the money, or there are some decent free agents out there. Maybe Joe Douglas has his eye on somebody. Clearly there are spots on this roster where depth is now lacking. Particularly in my mind at swing tackle and at safety. So very quickly, here are 3 players, some players who are cut by their respective teams that I would look to target if I'm Joe Douglas. Number 1 is a player that a lot of us have talked about, and it's Jaquiski Tartt, safety, most recently of the San Francisco 49ers. Robert Saleh knows Jaquiski Tartt. He played for Saleh in San Francisco from 2017 to 2020. He's 30 years old. Maybe not the best playmaker in the world, but he has great fundamentals. He's very reliable. Really doesn't make mistakes. So Tartt is one player that I would target. There is another safety though, and that's Anthony Harris from Philadelphia. Definitely a legitimate starting free safety. And at this point, with this defense, I really feel the one thing that they need more that I just really think is going to be lacking. It isn't so much a run-stuffing defensive tackle. I think it is that safety who has coverage and can stay on the field. Well, Anthony Harris has made all 44 of his starts in the last 3 years for the Vikings and for the Eagles. So And he's never had a missed tackle rate of worse than 8.8%, which is absolutely fantastic for a free safety. So Anthony Harris, that's another safety that I would target. And I will give you one swing tackle because right now this team has 3 offensive tackles on their roster. One more is probably going to be needed. At the very least, it's going to be needed in the pipeline. And a guy I'm looking at is a guy named Roderick Johnson from the Kansas City Chiefs. 26 years old. He spent a couple of years with the Texans. Pretty good run blocker. He posted run blocking grades of 68 and 74 respectively. Not the best pass blocker. He has a pressure rate allowed of 6.9%, but the 6.9% is actually better than what we've had previously. By comparison, Connor McDermott's career pressure rate is 7.4, and the immortal Chuma Edoga, who Atlanta, they couldn't wait to snatch him up after those joint practices. Maybe he looked like Walter Jones in those practices. Who's to say? Chuma Edoga's lifetime pressure rate is 8.7%. So Roderick Johnson, that's another name that I would target. So what do you think about the restructuring of CJ Mosley's contract? If you were him, would you hold on to the money, or would you look to spend it right now and upgrade this roster before week 1, which is only about a week away, if you can believe it? The regular season is ticking. Well, again, thanks for taking the time to watch. And I'll see you with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.